Hey Simone, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Simone, you look absolutely adorable. I
Thank
love it.
you. So do you.
Thank you. The decor, your outfit, hair, very
Yeah,
well put together.
thank you.
You're welcome. So we're meeting today to talk about your business ventures. If you don't mind, can you tell me a little bit about what you do and how you got started?
Sure. So my name is Simone. As you can see, I'm a little over the top, but I specialize in property management. So I've been doing it for 10 years now in the Birmingham, Atlanta, and also Tennessee markets. And I'm just trying to get some more information out there about property management.
That's pretty cool. So are you managing other people's property or are you buying into property?
Yeah, so right now I'm actually working for a large single family real estate company in Atlanta. So this whole 10-year span, I've always been managing someone else's property. So hopefully one day I'll be able to switch, but I'm still learning all that I can with managing someone else's first.
No, I think that's the best way to get it started is to do somebody else's and then you can have yours and it's perfect. So
Yep, I agree.
very good. So tell me a little bit about what you do. Is it rental properties or are they also selling the properties?
Yeah, so that's actually a really good question. So I have managed all kinds of properties. I feel like I've managed Class A, managed some C class properties. Those are more multifamily, so they're the apartment communities. But I've also had experience in managing commercial property, some storage facilities, which was just an absolute nightmare. And now I'm actually managing single family houses. So I've had variety in all, but yes, sometimes the selling of a property is involved. So that's always fun to kind of see how that goes. But yeah, I've kind of dabbled in it all, and it's pretty interesting if I must say so myself.
It sounds like it. How did you get into doing something like this? You really don't see a lot of young people managing properties or even having the know-how.
Right. So I was in the military for 4 years and I graduated out of high school. So when I got out of the military, obviously, we're looking for some place to move back home. Me and my husband at the time, we went to several different properties, and it was the last property. And this older gentleman was showing us, and it just didn't seem like he really knew a lot about it. So I was like, "Do you need help?" And he was like, "Actually, I do." And so I came in the next day. Him and I had a whole interview, and I started off 10 years ago as a leasing agent. Um, and here we are 10 years later. So I just got started by asking, and you never know until you ask.
You never know.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So are you, I know you said that you're in Atlanta. Atlanta is huge. Are you throughout Atlanta or are you in a specific area?
Yeah, so the company I currently work for, we actually have over 1,000 single family houses in Metro Atlanta. But we also have some properties in Georgia, but also across the entire United States. But since I do live here locally in Atlanta, I'm more responsible for Metro Atlanta. So, girl, we'll be in Clayton County, we'll be in East Point, west side of Atlanta, anywhere, everywhere we are there. Sometimes the good places, sometimes the bad, but pretty much all across Metro Atlanta.
No, I like that. I really do. I know that there are so many people that are selling their homes now and they're looking to rent because the mortgage, I don't know how people do it. I literally, I don't care what I'm making. I would not put myself in a situation to where my mortgage is $6,000.
Right.
Okay. But some people are doing it and now they're taking themselves out of that because they're looking at the fact that things are changing. Companies are shutting down and they want to make sure that which I love that.
Mhm.
They're looking at the future to make sure that their families are not in bad positions.
Mhm.
So for individuals that are like that, looking for a single family home, and they may be in North Atlanta, South Atlanta, they could be, I don't know, East Atlanta. How do they get in contact with you? And then do you have a website so that they can take a look at what you have available?
Yeah, so you know what? That's actually a really good question. So the company I work for now, I actually, oddly enough, I don't like advertise for them, just because I like to separate kind of what I got going on with them. So as far as how they can get in contact with me, definitely through any of my social media sites. I do have multiple links to where if they have a question about their lease agreement, or why is my landlord doing this, or why is my rent going up $300, we can definitely talk about that via my site. But then also, if they're looking for a place to rent, I can definitely give them a list of places, because you don't want to fall into the trap out here in Atlanta, which is the scammers. So
Right.
I compiled a list of different reputable sites that they could rent from. But
Mhm.
hopefully, in another year or two, after I get my feet wet in Atlanta, I will have properties that I manage for myself and not another company, and we'll be able to, work off of that.
Come on, Simone. Okay. I absolutely love that. I can't wait to see you grow.
Yeah.
Some of the qualifications that the company that you work for may look for, what would those be, just so that people are aware and they can have their documents together?
Yeah, for sure. As far as them renting or working with us.
So if they were going to rent, and
Ah,
then we could talk about working.
okay. So if they were going to rent, I would say the industry standard in property management is one of the biggest things is obviously going to be income. So you're always going to make sure that have your pay stubs readily available, your boss's contact information readily available, and then just be prepared to have other documents like your bank statements, whatever, in case that is needed. But typically, a lot of property management companies like to see that you make 3 times the rent. So I would just
Mhm.
recommend to them to always keep that in mind wherever you're looking for that they typically want to see you make 3 times the rent.
Mhm.
Obviously, credit is another thing that is factored in with the rental application. So a flag for someone approving you to stay somewhere would be if you have derogatory statements on your credit from like utility companies, whether that's trash, cable, power. Typically, it's frowned upon. But as long as that's pretty good, and I would say anywhere, 575 credit score or above, it probably can work with you, especially if the income is good. Um, any reputable place should definitely verify your rental history. So you'll want to make sure you have contact information for any of your previous landlords and your current. And then criminal background is another thing that a lot of places look at, whether that's, obviously, if you don't have anything in your background, you're going to get approved. But if you have had something happen in the past, and it's definitely housing related, so trespassing, breaking and entering, or anything typically related with like drugs, 9 times out of 10, it might not work out for you, but it never hurts to ask because you never know what they might work with. But those are pretty much the four biggest things that they're going to look for.
Wow, that's so the from what I'm hearing you say, as long as you have a good job, um, your credit is, and that's not even good credit.
Right. As long as it's, a little,
Wow.
yeah. Which, some places can be more strict, but I agree with you. As long as it's kind of like middleman credit wise, they might be able to work with you. They might ask for a higher deposit. So, just have that available, I guess, as well.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad that I met you. the the thing is that so many people are, and I want to give you the opportunity to tell people what how to get into the business too, like what they need. But there are so many people that are paying um in apartments what they could be paying in a house.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so to know that you guys have so many properties available, I think that's great.
Yeah, and I get it. Like I have a lot of friends that are realtors, and I get it. Buying a house is obviously a plus, but everyone's not ready to do that. So for those that aren't ready, renting is always an option. And the thing I love about it is, if your hot water tank goes out, you don't even have to pay for it. Like all you got to
I
do is
know.
make a call, someone's gonna come there and fix it. And then especially if you live like in an apartment situation, you don't have to worry about landscaping. Like there's so many things that you don't have to worry about. So I always am a theme for someone renting, but whatever works best for them.
No, I completely agree, especially for single people.
Hmm.
Um, for some reason, I feel like, and I guess when you have children, you're ripping and running a lot, but you split that ripping and running. But when you're single, you're doing it by yourself. So if your light bulb goes out, hello, please come replace my light bulb.
There you
And
go.
honestly, I like the flexibility. Come fix my garbage disposal. But
Yeah.
then that ownership, now it's like, yeah, it's great, it's yours. But so is the furnace bill.
Right,
So,
right. So is
yeah.
everything else that comes with it.
hmm So if somebody wanted to get into what you're doing, how would they do that? Would they just go to a leasing office and say, "Hey, I heard about what Simone does, and are you guys applying?" And do they need to have any kind of experience?
Yeah, great question. So I actually offer like a little class where I can help people understand how to get into property management. But for the most part, as long as you've got some kind of charisma, some confidence, and some customer service skills, I think anybody can get started in property management, especially in the leasing department. But you are absolutely right. I highly recommend, especially if you've got a good rapport with the ladies or the males at your leasing office, absolutely go down there, maybe on the first, hand them your rent check, and then slide in and be like, are y'all looking to hire? Because they really might be, and you don't need very much to get started in leasing. But if you ask, it's already probably going to change the dynamic because they're like, oh, maybe, okay, you're a hard worker. We need that. So, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Just going down there asking. But if you don't live in an apartment complex, I would just say, obviously Indeed or those sites, just start off looking for leasing consultant and kind of just hop yourself right on in there.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you kind of slid that in, but then you went over it. Tell me about this class.
Well, I just started it. So it's really just going to be me and that person reviewing their resume, kind of telling them what is expected as far as the property management industry. Because a lot of people don't know there's a lot of stuff that we can't do because of fair housing. So, we can't say certain things. So if I was going to show someone an apartment, I can't even say, how many kids do you have? Because that's against fair housing. Or if someone lives with us and they make a complaint and it's based around a child being loud, I can't direct the noise complaint to the child because that's fair housing. Another example would be if you came in looking for a place, I can't just look at you and assume that you would like something and steer you to it. I need to give you all the options. That way you can choose and figure out what works best for you, because a lot of people have no idea of property management. There is a lot of stuff we cannot do, and
Mhm.
rightfully so, because we definitely shouldn't be judging someone's character and just imagining where we would want them to be. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of stuff we can and can't do.
Yeah, I had no idea about anything like that. So I think your course would be good for individuals. I know that a lot of people during the pandemic, they started like having the Airbnbs,
Yeah.
and if they don't have that knowledge, now they have a lawsuit on their hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally went to school for criminal justice and I still had no idea about what you just said.
Yeah. It's pretty tricky.
hmm
So yeah, I'm happy to be able to like help people understand and be aware of that.
And so tell me about your course. Do you meet with these individuals virtually or do you see them one-on-one? How much is the course?
Yeah, so for right now, if they book with me, it'll be an hour session, it'll be virtual, and we'll go over all the ins and outs. Um, like I said, I just started it, but hopefully, I don't know, maybe one day if there's a lot of people that want to participate, we can do something in person. But it's just they get to spend an hour with me. I get to talk their head off about what I love, but also even if they do the course and they don't want to do property management, the things that I could tell them could hopefully help someone else in their family that might be going through a situation. Because on the flip side, while everything might look perfect in property management, is not. So I also want to be um, someone that can help someone that might be getting treated wrongly by their landlord or property manager, and kind of let them know, hey, that's not right. You've got different things that you can do to protect yourself. That way, a property manager or someone isn't screwing you over. So I want to bring the good with the bad with them as well.
Yeah. So when you say it's just an hour with just me, yeah, just you is fabulous, okay?
That's all I
And
need.
And you have a lot of information to share. What you're sliding information in,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm telling you, I don't see a lot of young individuals doing what you're doing. I see a lot of people that are older in age and they're doing it, but we need diversity. We
Mm-hmm.
do. And we need people to come with that spunky personality so that we're not just getting, okay, when I come in, okay, I need an Airbnb, or I'm looking for a rental home, or I'm looking for an apartment. And, oh, okay, well, it's just one person. Here's a 1 bedroom home with a one bed, one bathroom and no backyard. Well, hello, I have grandchildren. I need rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to share that information, I think is really going to be good. And then maybe partnering with some of these individuals that are doing some of the same things that you're doing right here in Atlanta. I think that would be so amazing to see.
I agree. I'm all about reach one, teach one. So let's come together and make it a thing.
Yes, yes, I agree. Also, some of the things that you said, I know that a lot of people use legal aid. I worked on a couple of cases with
Mm.
them some years back, mostly family law, but I know they also help in the area where it comes when it comes to rental.
Uh-huh.
So you may be able to assist in that area too. Listen, I'm giving you more work, but
Oh,
just in case.
if I could pull out, I should take notes right now. I'm a sponge. I'm always here to soak up information.
Yes, just in case you want to share your knowledge, and you never know who you're going to network with. They have some of the most, even though these attorneys are not getting paid for
Mm,
the work that they do, some amazing beast of
mm,
attorneys.
mm, mm.
Yeah, so you never know how you guys can help each other in the long run.
There you go. There you go. I'm all about that.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So, do you, I know you have the rental properties. What about the Airbnbs? Do you have any of those just yet, that you're helping out with?
Yeah, so oddly enough, I know when COVID, like you were mentioning, when COVID kicked off, the Airbnbs were really like a big thing in the property management realm. As far as where I have worked, they kind of are not a fan of Airbnbs, right?
Hmm.
However, I do know that there are some property management companies that specialize in managing Airbnbs.
Mhm.
And I tip my hat off to them because that's a lot because you got to manage the cleaning, who's coming in, are they leaving when they're supposed to leave, stuff like that. So honestly, I don't have too much experience in that. I have on the side done some leasing for people that did run an Airbnb business.
Mhm.
So I don't know too much about it. I do know Atlanta is also seeming like they're kind of frowning upon Airbnbs as well. I'm a crime junkie, so I watch like what is it, the Fulton County calendar every day, and just
Yeah.
last week there was someone, a property owner who had someone that was an Airbnb guest, like
Mhm.
physically beat her up, and I'm like,
What?
yeah, they didn't leave when they were supposed to leave and they got mad and they beat the property owner up when she came. So I hate that because Airbnbs can help a lot of people in a lot of different situations. So I think more landlords should be happy to support Airbnb, but I do also understand the concerns as well because we all know Atlanta is a hell of a place.
Different. We're different.
Right, right,
Well,
right.
I mean, every time you turn on, you can go on Instagram. I have the neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
watch thing,
Yep.
and when I go on there, it's always something else, and I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I live in the woods. Why?
Right, right,
Why is there crime?
right.
So,
Atlanta,
nope.
the headlines for the news are just it blows your mind.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, I completely agree. So, oh, also when it comes to the Airbnb, I completely agree with you that they may be pushing back on that, especially in some areas. In the Dunwoody area, I was looking for condos,
Mm,
and yeah, oh yeah,
mm.
yeah. Part of their bylaws is that you cannot Airbnb your place.
Wow.
I know, right? It's like you own the home and they're telling you no, but
Right, right, right. And listen, I when I first moved to Atlanta a year ago, I did manage an apartment community. And there were a lot of people that were doing it on the low and getting away with it. So that's a whole nother aspect. But
hmm Yeah, but when you said something about they are abusing the people that own the property, uh, yeah, you
yeah,
may want to think twice about that. So we'll
yeah.
stick with the rentals and
Oh,
helping people get into apartment complex.
there we go.
Sounds a lot safer.
Yep,
Yes.
there we go.
So Simone, I'm gonna get your website. I will get a contact number and your social media information, and then I will pin it so
Okay.
that everybody has it and can get in contact with you.
Yeah.
Um, and if they have any questions and they are directed to me, do you have an email address as well that I can get to them?
Absolutely. So Misspropertymanager at AOL.com is going to be my email. And then pretty much any social media is going to be Miss Property Manager as well.
Perfect, perfect. Look, I thank you so much for meeting with me and sharing your business. I can't wait to see you when you own your own properties. I know, no, it's coming. It's coming. Listen, you're doing the work now, developing yourself. So it's gonna be pretty amazing. Anyone that I find that they're looking to get into a place, I am sending them straight to you. I mean, it sounds like it's a shoe in anyway. So
Please
oh,
do.
and don't worry, anybody I send will have a good job and no criminal background, so
I
you'll
love
be fine.
and any property owners out there that are looking for someone to manage their properties as well, hit me up. I promise you, I don't play any games. We'll make sure your property is making you money and the tenants are good and it just works out for everybody.
Thank you, Simone. Thank you, thank you. Is there anything more that you would like to share before we leave?
No, but I would like to tell you thank you because I think what you're doing is amazing as well. I've looked at some of your videos, so
Thank
I'm
you.
hoping to learn all that I can from you along the way as well.
Thank you so much. Hey, I'm all about networking. So everybody that I touch, I want to make sure that they get to know each other.
Right.
Yeah, and continue to grow.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was definitely a pleasure, and I appreciate you coming in and sharing who you are and what you do, Simone.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you have a good evening.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.